what I want to talk about is who is at the fault for colorism. And I see a lot of this. Colorism really isn't a real life. It's not like a real life, scene. It's more of a online thing because you don't really see color in real life. I mean, if we're keeping it real, if we're being honest, but most of colorism comes from online, and there's a lot of jokes and stuff like that. But basically, what I want to say to light skinned people is basically like y'all get blamed for colorism, but it's really not y'all's fault because like y'all didn't put yourself on that pedestal. If anything, it was black people and white people that put y'all on that pedestal. So, cause I see it all the time. They put light skinned people on the pedestal, and then they get mad that they're on that pedestal, and so they hate them for that. And a lot of this has to come back to the simple fact that most black people do not like what they see in the mirror, and they look to light skinned people as like this form of escapism. And this is probably why they try to relate to them on such a dysfunctional level. Like, say for instance, if one person's a thug, they'll want the light skinned person to be a thug so they have somebody to relate to, and they'll have somebody to say, oh well, he does it too, so I can do it also. And I see that a lot because I have some black people try to do that to me. Like, they'll try to say, well, oh, he's a thug, he does this and that, when really I'm not one. I'm not a thug. I didn't grow up in a thug environment, and I didn't grow up in a poor environment. I grew up in a middle class environment, and that's the biggest problem, is that you have all these black people try to make everybody a group thinker, and they're trying to make everybody who didn't grow up in the same circumstances as they did, and they're trying to make them all into one singular box when that's really not the case. Like there are people that grew up differently than you, and you're just gonna have to accept that. So, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, and even some white people are the same way. White people are worse because they'll try to group all blacks, light skin, dark skin, mixed. They'll try to group them all into the same box, and then they wonder why it doesn't why it doesn't like why it doesn't work out. It's really simple. It's because they're not the. I mean, they're not different, but they're not the same at the same time. Just like with black people trying to put me in the same box as they are. Even though we didn't grow up in the same neighborhood, we didn't grow up in the same upbringing. I grew up middle class. They probably grew up lower class. I didn't grow up around gangs or anything. They probably grew up around gangs. They're probably they're probably part of gangs, and they still want you to relate to them when you don't have nothing to relate to. And so that's where I'm at a loss at. It's like there's nothing to relate to. I didn't grow up in that type of lifestyle. So why would I pretend like I grew up in that lifestyle? It just doesn't make any sense. And a lot of what I see is a lot of black people that grew up in that lifestyle, that grew up in that thug type lifestyle, poverty, like struggling and stuff like that. They kind of look to light skinned people as like this kind of escape from their reality, where they don't have to look in a mirror and see their image, or see what they've done or anything, or their life path or their decisions, and they look at light skinned people as like this saving grace, and they look at y'all as like, oh, he can do it. I mean, not they don't look at y'all as like, let me see. They look at y'all as like in a scapegoat almost. Whereas they try to throw all of their negative traits onto y'all. And a lot of light skinned people don't really get that, because most light skinned people, when they grow up, most light skinned people aren't taught that they're mixed people or they're light skinned people. Most light skinned people are taught to be either white or black. And so they don't really understand what's going on until they get to like 20 years old or 30 years old, and it's like too damn late. It's too late to even recognize the difference now, because you've been so indoctrinated into somebody else's agenda. And that's really what it comes down to. The fact that y'all are being used against each other. Y'all are being used against yourself. And then on top of that, you're the minority. You're a minority. So, I mean, it's a lot to play with here. So, but yeah, I've seen it plenty of times where black people have tried to use light-skinned people and mixed people as this kind of escapism, where they don't want to deal with themselves, so they throw everything that they're doing onto you, and they pretend like you're them, and they pretend like they're you. And I see that so many times. And usually that type of relationship, not that type of relationship, but that type of connection, or that type of like friendship, that's toxic. That's very toxic, because you don't get to be yourself. You don't get to be who you really are, and you don't benefit from it. They get to be who they really are, and they get to benefit from it. So that's very one-sided. They get to take on the traits of the lifestyle that you've living that isn't dysfunctional, while they get to keep acting dysfunctional in the lifestyle that they're living. You're living a lifestyle that is not dysfunctional, while you're taking on the effects of somebody else living a dysfunctional life. So you're not even living your own life. You're living somebody else's life that somebody has, that somebody has pretty much laid out for you. And that's what's happening. Y'all are being scapegoated left and right. Stuff that doesn't even have to do with y'all. Y'all are getting scapegoated for. Like, if y'all don't pick it up and start y'all's own stuff, and like actually start actively promoting y'all's image, y'all gonna be blamed for so much stuff. It's not even gonna be funny. It's not even gonna be funny, because y'all can't do nothing about it, if you're really being honest, because like a lot of y'all like pleasing other people and not pleasing yourselves. 2, y'all a minority. And 3, y'all get it from both sides. So it's like what more reason do y'all need to start y'all's own stuff? Y'all don't need any more reason. It's right there. It's literally right there. But yeah, most of these people, white people, black people, any type of people, they're going to keep living through y'all, because they don't want to live through themselves. They don't want to live through themselves. Trust me, they do not want to live through themselves. I've seen it again and again. I've seen old white men try to live through me. That didn't work out, because I didn't have the same ideology as they did. I've seen old black men try to live through me. That didn't work out because we don't have the same ideology, and they get. And the funny part is, when they try to live through you, they get mad at you. They get mad at you like you're supposed to go along with it. Like, no, we got different lives. We got different lifestyles. We're not the same. I didn't grow up in the same environment that you did. I didn't, you know, I don't look at things the same way that you do. That's just how it is. You can't change that. That's just how I grew up. That's not even how I grew up. That's just what comes with being a different human being. That's just what comes with being another human being. Everybody's not supposed to think the same as you are. And that's what they don't get. That's what a lot of these other groups don't get. Even light skinned people don't even get that. Because a lot of light skinned people, they try to cape for the black community. And they get mad at the light skin and mixed people that don't cape for the black community. And then they wonder why, oh, he's a sellout. He's a cool. No, he didn't grow up in the same environment as you did. He didn't grow up with the same people that you did. You probably grew up with a bunch of black people. This person probably grew up with a bunch of white people. I grew up around a bunch of white people. So you can't blame somebody for growing up how they grew up and then blame them for the ideologies that they have when that's literally what they've been like brought up with. Especially if it's not dysfunctional. Like, cause if we're keeping it a buck, nobody criticizes these gangsters. Gangsters walking down the street, you know, throwing their rags everywhere, you know, shooting up people, kidnapping people. Nobody says nothing. Nobody says nothing to them. But when you have somebody who's like, especially a minority, and especially if they're like a male, if they're going on the straight and narrow path and they're trying to become like something like something with STEM or engineering and something like that, nobody ever praises them or celebrates them. Nobody ever celebrates them. I've noticed that. Nobody celebrates them. But what they do is they try to live through you, and then they don't want to help you on the way there, but they try to live through you. And then when you get there, that's when they pretend like they were all there for you from the beginning. And it's like it's so backwards how today's society is. Like, and if you look at today's society, everything is backwards in society today. Like, if the most unqualified people are qualified for everything now, it's not even. And the thing is that what used to be good is now bad, because what they promote now is nothing functional. Like they don't even promote, even white people. Even white people nowadays, they don't even promote the brightest, most attractive, most athletic people anymore. Especially if they're all in the same person. Like, if they're all in the same person, bright, intelligent, athletic, attractive, if they're in the same person, they don't get promoted anymore. Especially if they're a male. So, it's all types of messed up. But yeah, I mean, that's what's going on. You got, because like I said with me, I had old white dudes trying to live through me. I had old black dudes trying to live through me. I had young black dudes trying to live through me. Like the young thug type, the thug type dudes trying to live through me. I mean, I had young black men try to live through me. Yeah, I had thug type dudes try to live through me. Even though we didn't even grow up in the same environment, we didn't grow up in the same like background or anything. I grew up middle class, upper, middle class. And so Well, not upper middle class, but middle class. I grew up middle class, so they didn't grow up in the same background as me. And those were usually the ones that got mad at me the most because like we couldn't relate on anything. So they would get mad at me the most, even though we don't have nothing in common. And like if anything, like you should have just been going the other way. Like if we ain't got nothing in common, I mean, and it's not to be mean, or it's not to say it like as a diss. I don't even have to explain myself on why it's not mean. I'm just saying that because when you explain yourself, that's when they be like, oh, you try to, you try to say you don't you don't like us. I mean, that's not that. Even though I don't really like I don't really, let's just say I don't really um I'm not really, you know, tied in with those type of group of people. So, but like the thugs would get mad at me the most because like we really didn't have anything to like relate to. So, I mean, it is what it is though. The only thing about it was that the young white dudes that were living on the straight and narrow, they didn't try to live through me. They had their own life. They had their own stuff together. And so that's who that's that's not who I gravitate to cuz I don't gravitate to no one. But I mean, it is what it is. But yeah, light skinned dudes, what the hell is wrong with y'all? Like, do y'all want to be scapegoat for everything? It sounds like y'all want to be scapegoat for everything. Because every time somebody say something about y'all like, oh, I guess Master said so, so it's true. Like, what? Master says so. Oh, light skinned dudes are weak. Light skinned dude, not that, but I mean, we know it's not true. But I mean, light skinned dudes are so damn weak. They go with it. They go with the damn saying. Like niggas be saying anything about light skinned dudes, and if and the first thing light skinned dudes would go like, oh, I guess Master said it, so it's true. So I'm like, what? I mean, and the thing is, y'all can't just do this for yourselves. Look at the generation behind y'all. We looking at y'all like, what the hell y'all doing? I'm looking at the older light skinned dudes like, what are y'all doing? Like, y'all been here longer than us. And y'all still haven't gotten a memo. Y'all still taking up for this community that don't even like y'all. And y'all can't say that, oh, not all the black community don't like light skinned dudes. When you can literally go on social media, type in light skinned dudes, and see all the jokes that they make about y'all. You can literally, they don't even make this much jokes about white people. Dude, put this in y'all, put this into perspective. Black people don't even joke this much about white people, and white people have enslaved black people for 400 years. They don't even make jokes about white people, but they gonna make jokes about light-skinned dudes. Light-skinned dudes. You talking about the dudes that weren't even, you talking about the dudes that don't even commit crimes for real? The light-skinned dudes? They gonna make jokes about light-skinned dudes. Light-skinned dudes don't even do anything. Like, let's keep it real here. What, light-skinned dudes don't do anything. But we're supposed to pretend like we're some type of ultra villain because we don't agree with everything that other people say. And a lot of this has to do with like all this politics and stuff. What's going on is they're trying to merge everything together into this one little ball where there's no type of individual thinking. And that's why they're trying so hard to merge politics into sports and like mainstream media. Because if you've looked at all the mainstream media movies lately, they all have some type of political thing, or some type of politically correct theme. And that's another thing. If you watched anything after 2016, more than I'm guessing probably 90% it's going to have a politically correct theme added onto it, because I mean, after 2016, that's when everything started going pretty much to, I'm gonna say it, to crap. So, I mean, but yeah, dude. I mean, y'all gotta get it together, bruh. Light skinned dudes, y'all gotta get it together, especially you older light skinned dudes. I'm like, what are y'all thinking? What do y'all really think? I really want to know what the hell do y'all be thinking sometimes, because like, there's no way that you can get joked on that much and you still take up for that community. Y'all literally take up for a community that don't want nothing to do with y'all. I'm not saying they don't want nothing to do with y'all, but they be joking like they want nothing to do with y'all. And then when they do talk about y'all, y'all just go like, "Yes, massa, y'all said it, so it's true." Like, what? I mean, what gives? You got black people scapegoating y'all for stuff that y'all didn't commit. You got white people blaming y'all and scapegoating y'all for stuff that y'all didn't commit. Y'all, and the thing is, light skinned dudes ain't even doing nothing. Y'all just saying stuff that's different than everybody else. And that's what comes with being a different person. A different group of people. That's what comes with being a different group of people. You gonna say stuff that's different. You gonna look at stuff from a different perspective. You gonna look at things differently. They can't even take that. So imagine when y'all do start. I mean, not do start doing stuff, but I'm saying like, imagine when y'all do take. Imagine when y'all do take hold of y'all's infrastructure and y'all start moving it in a progressive way. They gon' It's gonna. I mean, you see how bad it was when what was it? It was around 2012, 2016. Y'all saw. I mean, because I mean, light skinned dudes were doing pretty good, and everybody was tripping. Y'all are like, light skinned dudes are like the golden boy of the community, and all these other groups are trying to be golden boys, but they don't want to get what comes with being a golden boy. When you a golden boy, you're not gonna be like everybody else, and that's what these other groups want to be like. These other groups want to be like everybody else. They want to have 50 million people that look just like them, that act just like them, that talk just like them. They don't really want to be a golden boy. They just want the benefits of what it takes to being a golden boy. They just want the benefits of it. They don't want what really comes with it. They just want the benefit of it. And that's why these other groups are trying so hard to live through y'all. They're trying so hard to live through y'all because they want the benefits of being a golden boy, but they don't want to be a golden boy. When you're a golden boy, you have to have morals and, you know, values and, you know, principles and, you know, standards. These other groups of dudes, they don't have that. If we being honest, I mean, when you turn on the news, look who's always on the news doing something stupid. Not doing something stupid, but you know what I'm saying. When you look on the news and you see somebody doing something, I mean, look what they look like. They either white or they black. That's keeping it a buck. If we can say light skinned dudes do this, this, and that, and they all this, this, and that, not do this and that because they don't do nothing. But if we can say light skinned dudes are, oh, they weak, soft, why can't we say that white people are like criminalistic? Or why can't we say black people are criminal? Why can't we say white or black people are criminalistic and all this other type stuff? If we can make so many jokes about light skinned dudes, why can't we make these jokes about white and black people? It don't make any sense. But that's what they're doing. They're scapegoating y'all. They're scapegoating the heck out of y'all. And y'all don't even see it. Some of y'all see it. Y'all just scared to say something about it. And the thing is that you can duck your head all you want, but some pieces are going to hit you. You might as well stand up and defend yourself. It's like a food fight, dude. I mean, not a food fight, but I'm saying like, I mean, you can duck all you want to, but some pieces are going to hit you. Like if somebody's throwing if somebody's throwing rocks at you and you just duck your head like nothing's happening, I mean, they're still going to hit you. So you might as well just get up and just defend yourself. And this is figuratively. I'm using it as an example to tie into how y'all get scapegoated so much. But, you know, that's pretty much it. You know, if you have any questions, hit me up in the comments.